So the wool I've got is from a UK store called Aldi. I got it when it were in the sale, so it were cheap and cheerful. And I have got a 4mm hook. I can't remember what size the wool is. I know it's thin, so I think it's a double knit wool. So it's not 4-ply because that's too small, but yeah. So we will begin. The size top I will be making is an 8 to 10. So we want to create a slip knot. There we go. And you want to chain 41. And the wool. Oh god. Right, there we go. That's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Make sure to move up. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Right, so we've got 41 chains on his hook. So miss out this first chain and go straight into the second one, and we start doing double crochets from there. So you should have 40 on your hook when you've finished. So double crochet all the way down your chain, going through that top loop, which is your right side. Make sure not to go into the wrong side of your work, or this beginning part will come out a bit differently. So just keep doing double crochets all the way down to the end of this. Sometimes it'll twist with the chain. Just make sure that you are turning it back so you don't work into the wrong sides. Just for when you're beginning and learning to do all this crochet funness. Just some things that some people don't, well, not some people, some things you don't tend to notice until you realise after you've done all of the work for the foundation chains, for the foundation, that you have worked into the wrong sides and it's all twisted. So just make sure to try and keep it from twisting. Do your best. That's all we ask. Forever do your best. So when we get to this last one, we want to do a double crochet, chain 1, turn your work. So turn it. And then from here, we want to go into this front loop here. So we can see where these front loops are going along. So you don't want to go straight through. You want to pick up that front loop like so. So you pick up and then do a double crochet into there. So we pick up that front loop. Make sure not to go straight through both of them, because you don't want to pick up both. You don't want to go through and do a double. You want to pick up that front loop like so. Pick it up, and you want to do, so you want to pick up that front loop all the way along, making sure after you've done this to count that you have got 40 on there. So we'll carry on and I'll come back to you at the end. Just remember to pick up that front loop and do a double crochet into there. Pick it up, pick that bad boy up and do a double crochet. There we go. So just do that all the way along and I will come. Right, so we're on to our last couple of stitches. There's front loop, double crochets, front loop in fronts. Last one, last one. Oh, last one. Oh, I'm all fingers and thumbs. Literally. So from here we want to chain one and we're going to repeat this. So repeat what we've just done. So you want to go into that front loop. If you can see me. If you can't see me, I apologise for the crappy camera. So we go straight into that front loop. See if it'll focus a bit. There we go. So straight into that front loop. All along there. So you will start seeing, so you can start seeing where we're picking up from the front and then the back loop gives this risen effect, which looks really nice, if I'm honest. If I'm being honest, I think it looks really nice. So if we continue going along, picking up the front loops and doing double crochets in all of the fronts. I will apologise for my swapping accents for some unusual reason. That is where my brain is going today, so I will apologise for like 2 seconds and then probably start doing it again. So have fun with that. So we're going to just keep picking up the front loop and continue, and I will meet you at the end of this. So there's no increases or decreases for this, it's just this beginning bit. Right, I'm on to my last front loop double crochets, and then we want to turn our work. So that's the last one, which is the most awkward for some blooming reason. And then we want to chain one, turn as work, and this will be an increase row. So you want to start doing your front loop double crochets, and then I will come back to you near the end and I will show you where we need to decrease. So just stay, just go to the three, oh my gosh, my words, to the last 3 stitches. So get to the last 3 stitches and then I will show you what we need to do next. Right, so I'm on to my last 3 stitches. So we want to do a front loop in these 2, and then on the last stitch we want to do 2. So we're increasing, so 1 and then 1 more into the same hole, right, and then we want to chain 1, turn as work, and we're going to increase again on the wrong side. So we want to do 2 double crochets into the front loop, so that's 1, and then I do another 1 into there, and that's our increase for this round. And then you want to go into the front loop on once all into the other chains, into the row. So you do 2 at the beginning and then it singles all the way down. So that's our increase. So just do that. Repeat that. Front loop, double crochet all the way down. And I will meet you at the end. Right, so we're just at the end of this round. So then we want to crochet into that last one, chain 1 and turn. You can see how that pattern's coming up. Right, so chain 1, we want to go into his front loop again, so repeat that, and this is going to be another increase row. I don't know why I keep saying increase. I think my brain's a bit doodah. So we want to do front loop all the way, and then on the last stitch you want to do 2 double crochets in that front loop. So I will show you. So just repeat the front loop until you get to the last stitch. Right, I'm on my last 2, so that is 1, and then our last one we want to do 2, which is always awkward. So 1 double crochet into that front loop, and then another one, so that's another increase row as it slowly starts taking shape. So this is where the armpit round is. So that was round 7. We are on to round 8. So we want to chain 1. So here we go. So chain 1. And we want to go into that front loop. So we're not going to do an increase round on this side. So we're just doing our front loops. So just 1 double crochet into that front loop all the way down. And that is round 8. I apologise, I haven't been counting, so I hope you know what round you're on to. Ugh. Or following this video as I don't know, as detailed. So right, if we just continue doing a front loop, double crochet all the way down, and I will come back to you at the end of this row. Right, so we're on to the last front loop double crochets, and then we want to chain 1, turner's work, and do front loop double crochets into there, onto that one, and this one will be another increase. So when we come to the end on that last row, we will put 2 in. Last round, so into that last stitch, not the last row. Right, so we're just onto our increase. So we do single, double, front loop crochets into these 2, and then our last stitch on this row we will want to do 2 front loop double crochets into there, chain 1, turn your work, and then just do front loop double crochets to the end. It's not an increase row on this one, so it's just normal front loop double crochets, and I will see you at the other end of this. So on to our last front loop double crochets, and there's our last one in that row. So altogether so far we should have 44 stitches on our work, and this is the last increase, so you will have 45, and then from there we'll start doing the shoulder straps. Yeah, right, so we want to chain 1, turn our work and do front loops, double crochets along, and then when we get to the last stitch, the end of this row, we want to do 2 into it, so then there will be 45, and this row is row 11. So right, and then I will keep doing front loop, double crochets, and I will see you at the last stitch. So just front loop, double crochets all the way to the end. So I'm on my last 2 stitches, so we want to do a front loop, double crochet, and then 2 front loop double crochets, oh god, into this last stitch. So it's 1, 2, and that's our last increase row. So from here we want to chain 40. It's a nice round number. 1, so this is where a strap will go. So just chain, I forgot where I'm up to. 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Just 20 more. Maybe 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. Give me a second. So we turn his work. Make sure that it's not twisted. My chains aren't twisted, and we want to double crochet into the second loop from the hook. So, so not into this first one. We want to go into this second loop. So we go into there and double crochet, and then you want to double crochet into the rest of them all the way down. See, so ignore what I've just said. Right, you want to go into, instead of going into this top loop here, you want to go into this bottom one. so that it follows when you get to your other piece, your extra piece. So into the chains, you want to go, miss that first loop, go into this second one. So you are kind of working into the wrong side, so you're picking up, like you can see here. So this is your wrong side. So instead of having it turned right side, you want to turn it to your wrong side, and you want to go through the top loops. So into the top loop. It is a bit difficult this when you first start. It's just so that the pattern follows all the way through the work. So just keep going through that top loop. Oh. God, I can hear my wrist clicking. Right, so if you continue that, so then you work when you start on this side, it'll look, the pattern will follow. So just keep working into these chains, and just doing double crochets into all the way down. And then when you get to your work, oh, can be a bit fiddly this, and keep going. Just careful that your work don't twist on you while you're doing it. Right, just keep going, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, 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 what do we do? We swim, swim. Right, we're nearly there, we're nearly there. So that's the chains. So that's the chains done. So let's have double crochets into the chain, and then we start onto his work. So we just want to do front loop double crochets all the way down to the end. Right, I'll come back to you near the end. Right, so we want to do front loop double crochets. It's like stuck on repeat as much as we enjoy it. So the end of this row, you should have 85, if you count them all together. And we're going to turn his work, and we are on to the next row. So we just want to do front loop double crochets all the way up. Make sure to chain one, like I didn't do then, like a silly mare. So make sure, yep, to do that, and then you want to do front loop double crochets all the way back up to the top, all the way to the top of this, and you want to repeat this another, say 10 times. So this is you number 1, so another 9 times. Just repeat doing a front row double crochets. Make sure that you have 85 on, so try not to increase or decrease, just be careful. And I will come back to you after the 10th row. So good luck on this. So this is my final front loop double crochet after my 10 rows. So this is what it should look like. So that's your armpit bit, yeah, over your shoulder. So do the last front loop double crochet in there, then we want to chain one, turn as work, and then we only want to do 53 front loop. So you just want to go up to 53. Do you know what? Give me a sec. So I've just put a little stitch marker where my 53, my 53rd stitch would be. So you just want to do front loop double crochets all the way up to that stitch. Oh, my fingers want to work for me. It's hard to crochet in warm weathers. I've got to keep your hands from dry. Yeah, keep from getting sweaty hands. While you're crocheting. That's my little bird shouting very loud. So I'll come back to you when I get to the 53rd stitch. Right, I am just 3 stitches from the 53rd. So that one, and then move my stitch marker out that way. And there we go. So for this next part, we're going to be doing decreases. So you want to chain one, turn your work. You want to pick up this front loop, wrap it round, then pick up the next front loop, wrap it around, and then pull through all 3. Right, show you again. So go through the front loop away from your chain one, the next front loop, pull through, right, and then you want to pull through all 3 and you've decreased. and then you just want to front loop, double crochet all the way down to the end. I'll come back to you when you get near the end. So we're at the end of this row, and this was row 24. We want to chain, turner's work, and then worker's way up. So front loop, double crochets again. So that pattern doesn't change. You are always working into the front loop. So it's like I'm on repeat, like a bird, parrot, quack, on repeat. So if you do this to the end, not all the way to the end, because you want to be 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches from the end, and we're going to do 2 front loop, double 2 front loop decreases. So get to the 4 stitches, and then I will be with you. Right, these are the last 4 stitches, so we are going to do go through the front loop and pick up a stitch, go through the next loop and pick up a stitch. So you've got 3 on your hook, wrap it around, pull through, so that's a decrease. And then we're going to do it again, so front loop, pick a stitch up, front loop, pick a stitch up, and pull through all 3, so that's a decrease again. So chain 1 and turn your work like so, and then we'll just do a single decrease in this one. So front loop and pick up the front loop, there you are, wrap it around, pull through 2, and then just continue to do double crochets, front loop, double crochets all the way down. I'll come back to you at the end. So we're on to his last stitch, as we normally do. So go through, chain 1, turn your work, and then go into that front loop, and you can pick it up. I'll pick up all the threads instead of going straight through it. There we go. So front loop. We're going to do the same at the top of this one. So we're going to go 4 stitches down. When you get to the 4th, just wait there and I will be back with you. Right, we're going to do a decrease. So we want to decrease these last 4 stitches that you've come up to. So we decrease 2 together and then decrease 2 together. So you want to pick a loop up and go through the next front loop, grab that, pick that loop up, and then you've got 3 on your hook, and then pull through 3. So go through the front loop, wrap it around, pull through that front loop again on the next stitch, wrap it around, pull it through, and then wrap around and pull through all 3, and that's another 2 decreases. So you want to chain 1, turn your work quicker than I do it, and then you want to go into your front loop, wrap it around, pull through, and then go into the next loop, wrap it around, pull through, and then wrap around and pull through 2. And that's, you just want to do 1 decrease in that round, and then just do front loop, double crochets all the way down. I will meet you at the end of this row. So we want to do our front loop double crochets in the last 2 stitches, chain 1, turn work, and then we are onto the decrease again. So you should have 46 stitches all together on your work now. So after this round you'll have 44 and then 43 on the next round. So you just want to do front loop part way up to the last 4 stitches, and I will meet you there. Right, so we're on those last 4, so we're going to do the same as we did on the other row, is a decrease. So we do front loop, pick up a stitch, front loop, pick up a stitch, wrap it round, pull through all 3, front loop, pick up a stitch, front loop, pick up a stitch, wrap it round through all 3, chain, oh, moving my camera, chain 1, and then we want to do a decrease as a first one. So pick up a stitch, front loop, pick up a stitch, and then chain a loop, yep. And there is a single decrease, and then you just want to do a double crochet in the front loop all the way down. I'll come back to you at the end. So this is our last front loop double crochet on that row, chain 1, turn, and start again. So front loop double crochet all up to the 4th, so remember stop when you come to the 4, and then we want to knit them 2 together, knit them 2 together. Right, and I'll see you when I get to the 4th one. So this is row 31, and we're just going to do 2 decreases in this one. So front loop, pick up a stitch through the front loop, pick up a stitch, and then straight through both. Right, front loop, wrap around, pull through, front loop, wrap around, pull through, wrap around, pull through all 3, chain 1, turn work, and then this is a single decrease. So just want to do 1 in this one. So we just want to wrap around, pull through, then into that next one, and then pull through all 3, and then back to just doing front loop double crochets to the end. And that's row 32. So after that decrease round you should have 40 stitches all together. So just count, double check that you have 40 stitches on that round. So I think we'll do another 2 decreases, so it'd be 1 row of 2 and then back on itself for 1, then the row of 2 and then the 1, and then I think we'll start on just doing double crochets through. So apologise, oh my goodness, when we have done, if I've worked it out right, should have 34, or I could be wrong. I'll come back to you when I finish. Right, so after you've done your 4 rows of decreases, you should have 34 stitches all together on your hook. So it'd have been 2 decreases, 1 decrease, 2 decrease, 1 decrease. So the same kind of pattern that we were following along. So now it is just as simple as doing a front loop double crochet into these two, chain one, turn your work, and then we start doing, and it will just be front loop, double crochet into the 34 stitches until your work measures up to, just let me get a tape measure and I will show you. So your work will need to measure up to, just a minute, I've written it down somewhere. Right, so your work needs to measure up to 25. So we're going to continue doing this until it gets to 25 centimeters. So it's just 34 front row double crochets, front stitch double crochets, sorry. And I'll meet you when we get to the 25 point, and then I'll show you what you need to do next. Sorry that my camera is extremely blurry, but well, it is what it is in a nutshell. So be back with you shortly.